taken so long to come to that conclusion?
The next call is a 5-minute call. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, from this side of the House, we are detecting a stench. We are detecting a stench of a government which is rotting from within. We are detecting a government which is rotting from within because, sir, not only are they becoming hysterical, and we saw Tony Ryle, whose voice went up about an octave every time he gets under more pressure. But, Mr Speaker, what we see is a government that is relying on not one but two liars. Mr Speaker, we see Peter Dunn, who has denied leaking a report when everyone knows that's not true. And we see John Banks, who has denied knowing he got donations, when in fact, and he's done it publicly, when in fact everyone who has read the relevant reports knows that that cannot possibly be true. So what do we have, Mr Speaker? We have a government led by John Key, who promised higher standards, that is held together by two liars, Mr Speaker.
Order. No, that's, the member knows that 42.4 it cannot refer to a member as a liar, and I'll ask him to desist from that from now on. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, wouldn't it be nice if the government relied on people who could be relied on to tell the truth? Wouldn't it be nice if there was a sense of integrity in the Parliament, if there was a sense of integrity in the Parliament, and people told the truth? Mr Speaker, people refer to me and Mr McCready. I think it's an interesting situation that you have a liar, a fraudster, a bankrupt, a convicted blackmailer, and he's embarrassed two cabinet ministers, both of whom have been quite senior in their time. At least he's equal opportunity, Mr McCready. He's equal opportunity. But, Mr Speaker, what he has recognised is what the police refused to recognise, and that is that the facts of this matter are abundantly clear. No one can receive an envelope, be told it's a donation, and pretend that it is anonymous. No one can ask for a...
Point of order, the Honourable Tolley.
Mr Speaker, at the beginning of this debate, the Speaker made it very clear that we could not be debating the substance of the case that is before the court, and that we were debating the resignation of Honourable Banks as a minister. And I suggest that the member on his feet is now starting to stray into those points.
I thank the member. And order. The Speaker, Mr Speaker, made it very clear that we were to look at, under standing orders, we were to look at the issues relating to the Honourable John Banks as a minister. And the issue to look at, if one wants to go beyond that, is that he knowingly filed a complaint, a false electoral return. I refer the members, and it hasn't come up earlier, but refer the members to Speaker's Rulings 28.4, 31.1 and 31.3. And I think the key one here is 31.1, and I'll just read it. Where the matter is under adjudication before a court, the important thing is whether there is a real and substantial danger of prejudice to the case if it was discussed in this chamber. And I'll ask the member and his subsequent members to be very mindful of that. The Honourable Trevor...
Mr Speaker, John Banks resigned because a court found that it was a prima facie case that he had not told the truth. Mr Speaker, that is the matter, and what we have had, sir, is no further information on that issue for a year. John Key has known for a year that John Banks cannot be relied on to tell the truth. But he was a satisfactory member of the Cabinet because he meets the standards, the standards for Ryle, the standards for Nick Smith in particular. Mr. Speaker, Simon Bridges meets the standards for Simon Bridges. There is no requirement as part of the Key ministry to tell the truth, either in this House or outside. The only requirement that John Key has is that a court does not find him that way. And what sort of ethical standard is that? This is the ethics of someone who does not care. John Key is holding on to power by his dirty, grubby fingernails, Mr. Speaker, because he wants to see his time out. Mr. Speaker, he's getting contradictory advice. Judith Collins is saying, take the country to an election, because she knows that when they lose, she'll be the leader. No, Stephen Joyce is saying, no, let me have a go. No, let me have a go is what Stephen Joyce is saying. But one thing that we know for absolute certain, and it is in the polls that members opposite have been crying over as they've been consulting their apples today, and that is that we know that they're nudging on 40 and many of them are going to be goners.
That's right. Are there any further speakers? There being the Honourable Simon